Yo.
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Intel Room. We are back, we're in video format. You've got lots of beautiful faces to enjoy if you're on YouTube. I'm also here. My name is Rob. I'm joined as always by Sir Alex,
Hello.
by Khaleesi,
Hi.
and by our gracious host, Charlie B17.
Yo.
So, a bunch to get to. It's been a while since we've had a chat. Coming up later on, we're going to share our thoughts on the conclusion of the Norway campaign. We got our hands on missions 26 to 30, so we'll have a chat about that. We're also going to have a chat about what makes a good hero. If you're into tier listing or ranking heroes, we'll have a little bit of a discussion about what we value in our heroes. But we have to lead with the man of the hour, which of course is the Volpe. As of recording, the event is live. We're able to go earn his DNA. So let's get some thoughts. Khaleesi, why don't we come to you first? How are you feeling about our friend the Immortal Fox?
Uh, well, he's an interesting character in the main game, so I'm happy that he's being added to the game. Um, I don't know. I guess I find the ACR version of La Volpe a bit average, not really special.
That's kind.
Sir, yeah. Sir Alex said he's like a male Perina, which actually is quite very much true. I don't know. I guess it's just he's not nothing special actually. So I don't know.
Yeah, epic free runner. Charlie, were you surprised by that? Were you expecting epic and free runner?
Part of me was expecting a bit of a legendary because that event hasn't got a legendary hero yet. So I thought it probably would have made sense to put that in. It didn't, but
Really?
yeah, War of the Shadows is Purina and Corvo.
Corino.
So basically, you can
Corvo.
get the same hero, two different versions of it from the same event. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was a little disappointed with him. The abilities on him need a little bit of tweaking. If you're going to give somebody light armor and then a regeneration, make it more than 5%. Right, there's just no point giving it to him. You might as well not bother. His free running's all right, but as Khaleesi touched on, it is basically a male version of Purina. As I said, ironic they're from the same event as well. I think the community were kind of hoping that the Volpe was going to give Yusuf a run for his money, but again, without Yusuf's got medium armor, the Volpe's got light, so the damage differences that you're able to absorb is completely different. Throwing knife is good. Throwing knife is good, but I don't think he's really going to have the damage. Again, Yusuf with his sword deals more damage than the actual dagger does. So all in all, it's just another campaign filler, really. If you want my truthful opinion, not really expecting much more than that. To be fair to you.
Sir Alex, anything to add to that or echo that?
I don't know. Sounds like it looks very uninspired to me. Like everything is well, kind of copy pasted. Like he's an epic free runner like Perina. He has throwing knives like Perina. He has the dagger like Perina. I mean lockpick like Perina. I'm like, okay, you can have a couple of them because we have nearly 100 euros, so I'm okay with not everyone being completely unique. That's fair. But this is just too many checks in like for one hero. And I guess that you could say, well, you cannot give like a great sword to La Volpe because would look odd on him. Says it looks on the what's the shadow.
Jibrao.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gibraltar.
it looks odd, but I guess. But still, we don't have an epic free runner with hidden blades. Why not? He looks like an assassin, which is something that like more than half percent of the heroes can't say. So just giving the hidden blades, then something unique and giving like a free runner with assassination and the hidden blades. So not quite like Edward. I don't know. It's just very dull. Very. I don't even look at the stats because it's an epic, so I don't care too much. I'm not going to use him anytime soon.
Yeah, he's got
Whatever.
very good agility, but yeah, that's not a whole lot to be excited about. It's a shame, isn't it? Because yeah, he's very samey, and it's a very uninspired hero to be the same as, and then yeah, to be the same as an uninspiring hero who's also in the same event is a really bad combination. I was very surprised they actually made him a free runner. I thought he was going to be a stealth. I thought
Mm.
we might have a hope of him being legendary. It's tough to judge, isn't it? Because like Machiavelli in AC2 is kind of, you know, what I would consider the same status. But then at the same mark, you've got like Yusuf, who's epic. So I don't know. You could have pitched it either way. It just, yeah, it feels like a bit of a letdown, really.
I also think we got more than one stealth legendary. We got more than one assassin legendary, but we got just Edward as a free runner. So it was just.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'll shut up before we get some useless guy from Valhalla or Odyssey as a legendary, and then I'll just fuck off. And
Okay, we won't let you get into that. So yeah, rarity, subclass, skills, the gear.
he looks good though, as
He
always.
looks good.
He looks
He
pretty
looks good.
good. Yeah, the eyes are like magnetic. Yeah, pretty
It
cool.
also feels like we've had a lot of dagger users lately. Like, I don't know, Alcibiades felt similar in the way that you've got a guy who's got combat abilities and a dagger, but I'm not
Yeah,
expecting them
but
to do a lot in combat. But
yeah, all the people are not
Except giving
supposed
a
to combat.
massage.
Yeah, with a dagger.
I don't know. Jacob
Ouch.
got a dagger, and he was fairly. I think that made him. To be fair to you, that like the dagger speed is phenomenal. So if you can get a hero that hits hard with a dagger, like you gain initiative majority of the time. Like it is handy to have, but yeah, it does. Seems like they go through phases. It was like one point, like let's give everyone a hammer, and now it's like just give everyone a dagger. So I suppose maybe the next 4 heroes might just be sword heroes or hidden blade heroes or things like that. Whatever they've got too much of in the cupboard.
I don't remember Syndicate well enough, but doesn't Jacob use a dagger in the game, like that kind of weird
No,
blade?
not really. I use a cane on my playthrough. A lot of people said that he is quite good with the dagger. He does have knuckle dusters as well.
Right.
So,
they give
but
you
I
the
use
choice,
I
don't
use a
they, in the
cane.
game?
I use a cane like I'm playing it at the minute, and yeah, I use a cane. Same with Evil.
Actually,
So.
I remember using the dagger with him, which is why I was like, wait, he uses dagger in the game. Well, here to me, just feel like, okay, they're not supposed to have any combat at all, so you can't give them a weapon that will require knowing what they're doing. So just give him a kitchen knife and be done.
Yeah, so his unique skill, Gnaw, it's the one that heals you. I think it's 3% to start, but it ends up at 5%, which still feels super underwhelming. What do you guys think about that skill and that amount of healing?
It's too low to actually make a difference. Just think of Cassandra and her leech skill that is on the weapon. It's just, I don't know if the numbers will be that low, but just doesn't seem like something that's going to like save him.
Well, it's percentage, so it really like I can see that being very strong on Jacob or like on female Ivor because the damage is so high that the health you gain back is quite high. It's just that it's not like on Cassandra is not because the health is not on the critical skill. It's on the other one, which is just crappy overall. So it just
This is just, it's not linked to anything. So it's just raw percentage of
Yeah, that's
the
what I was
damage
heal
he's
just
up.
doing.
checking.
Yeah, nothing
Yeah.
else.
No,
So
no,
it
no,
doesn't
no. It's nothing
depend.
to do with the damage. It's just attacks
No.
an enemy for 75% damage and heals the
And
user for
heals up
5%
to
health.
5%.
So you just get 5% of your health back regardless of how much damage
Yeah.
you do.
I
Feels
don't.
like every time you get hit, though, you're going to take like 10 to 15%
15%
damage
damage,
at
yeah.
least from anybody. So yeah.
It's a light armor too. So.
Yeah. Well, Endgame,
He's
he's
squished.
like, you try and take him into like one of the later campaign missions, he's going to take easily a 500 hit.
Oh
Health
yeah,
hit
the guys with
yeah, if not
Overall,
more. I mean,
yeah.
some of like my tanks and people like that were getting hit for like 200s, 300s. I think Rod with no armor, with T4 armor, was getting hit for 500 plus. So him with light armor with a very small health pool, he's barely going to take a fight on. So, and that's the thing you've got to make. Like, there's a thing in the game that really irritates me. Like, I know everybody's not meant to fight, and you're meant to obviously work your way around the map and integrate the different skills and abilities like assassinations and stealth. But like, there's no point in taking, like, they've at least got to be able to at least accomplish something when it comes to a fight, because it's all well and good bringing them in to do your free run checks or whatever. But if you've got to do a free run check and take on an enemy, that free run is just made obsolete because they can't take on that fight. So this is something that I've always found in the game that is just completely unbalanced. It's like not a big health pool, not a lot of damage, but yet you've got a, you know, Rosa, for example, always, no matter with the randomizer in, always seems to be in the echoes through the Animus, or in this case, it was the War of Shadows. But that third mission where you got to go through the room, disarm the traps, get up and take the bloke out up the top, like, she struggles with that massively. Like, and that's just one enemy on the map. Like, so what's the point? Once you've done that fight with her, you either smoke bomb out the room, or you just try and clutch on and just hopefully you can get through that fight. And then if you do, she's useless for the rest of the map. Like, you can't use her for agility checks anymore because she's just going to die. And I think that's a massive issue that the game's got.
Than someone like this as well.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's just like, I know certain not everybody's meant to just be able to steamroll content on their own, but there needs to be either, if you're going to make them this flimsy and this like weak when it comes to absorbing hits and dealing damage, then all right, you've given him a healing ability, but make the healing ability a bit more substantial. Like, make it so that you actually get the hit off, and it's worth getting the hit off because you're going to heal yourself. As Khaleesi mentioned, like, Cassandra's is like very circumstantial when you have to get that off. Like, hopefully it's the last hit on the enemy so that you can get that little bit of health back and finish them off. But if you don't finish them off, you take more back in the next hit than what you've gained. So there's just no point. You might as well use the stronger attack. You know, it's just, that's what I find. I just think they need to balance some of these heroes out a little bit better.
Well, you know, he is an epic, so you're not likely going to actually be taking him to very difficult fights. He might struggle a bit in GM5 content when and if he becomes a bonus sync hero. But you're
Next
not
event.
going to be, yeah. But that's all there is to it. You're not going to be taking him to heavy fights, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, Quasim's a rare hero, and my Quasim absolutely destroys people. I know I've said the name, whatever. I don't know how you say the name. All right, I see Sir Alex's eyes roll. Like,
No. It's just because it's the one. No, it's like we have 96
special.
heroes, and I think that's when we do this kind of like conversation, we just should keep like, you can't talk about Kazim, you can't talk about Gaspar, because Gaspar is a common
special.
and he's amazing, but they're just not like most of the others.
No, I know, but I'm saying they've made like them heroes that Quasim can actually take on probably content better than some epics. Like, the rarity, the rarity for me isn't an issue. Like, I don't think that should be a deciding factor. Like, obviously your legendaries are meant to be slightly better because, you know, that's what everybody wants, legendaries. But there's got, as I said, there's just got to be a balance. Like, as you know, Khaleesi said, like, he will struggle in GM5 and he will possibly at some point be a sync bonus. So what's the point of releasing epic heroes that you have to have 2 in a Helix Rift event that aren't able to at least participate and hold their own in the content? It's pointless. You might as well just not bother. You might as well just not bother making them a sync bonus and just let us free run it with whoever we want and just get the sync bonuses that way, because it's just going to get to the point where these epic heroes can't handle the content that we need them to go into. And they're only epic, for Christ's sake. It's not like, as Alex said, they're not common. Like, these are epic heroes. They should be able to hold their own to a reasonable aspect in GM5.
Yeah, if you use your lockpicker.
Which makes me wonder, when are we going to get some of these heroes thrown into the sync bonus pool?
Well, I mean, Evie's come out fairly recently, isn't she? I mean, we'll say that. She was Christmas last year, weren't she, Evie?
Yeah, that's
Jesus,
a year already,
so that's nearly a year. I mean,
if you remember, like, very early on, like in the first year, I think, every time you got a new hero, then the next event he
They
was a
were
saint.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could buy them with Helix, you could buy the packs.
I did that with
My friend told me. Yeah.
Altair. I did that with. Like he'd done his first event, and then Eagle Shadow, and then he was the sync
Yeah,
bonus
the
the
next
very
one.
next one. So I opened
Yeah.
up like 10 cubes or 20 cubes, and I didn't pull him once. So it's just
Yeah,
like, what was the
yeah,
point?
How
But yeah, I do remember
spoiled.
that. I know. I was gutted, absolutely distraught when it happened.
How spoiled we got. Like, if that happens now and we get one of the new heroes as a sync bonus hero, there would be a riot in the
Yeah, but then
Discord
it'd probably
servers.
help control the Helix economy, wouldn't it? Because I mean, I'm busting for Jacob to be a sync hero. I
No,
want.
not yet.
Yeah,
Wait for
no,
me
no,
to
no.
next
I want to get the
round.
cubes. Like, I'm going to have to finish, I think, first to do it by a fragment, which probably ain't going to happen. So, if I could at least get him in possibly a chance of getting him in a cube in a thingy, I could just work it that way and spend my Helix that way. But
No,
yeah,
they probably don't need that anymore because of the special offers that you can buy with real money, so they don't need to cash in all the Helix
yeah,
anymore.
I nearly bought the Volpe one for the Volpe one for
No,
a
you
tenner.
said right. Fuck.
Oh,
Why do you have to
He's
correct
I
right.
don't know,
yourself?
because
It was
Khaleesi
perfectly
smiled.
fine.
It's
Khaleesi
instinct.
smiled, and I was like, "Oh, I've done something wrong here." I
It's a
nearly.
Is Khaleesi Italian? No,
reflex.
just checking. Like, does she has anything to say about it? She's not Italian. I don't smile. You go on.
All right, cool.
Easy.
Yeah, like I nearly picked up the £10 offer for him. There's been a couple going in stages, and I was this close to getting the £10 offer, but he's trash, so I didn't bother.
They put out a £5 one right after 20
Oh.
DNA for £5.
Oh, did they? Oh, I might look at
Yeah.
that one then.
There you go. They'll find your price point.
Don't buy packs,
Okay.
kids.
Yeah. I think we're agreed on the Volpe is just, yeah, very underwhelming, unfortunately. I think we were all hoping for more from a face we recognized from the game, but I guess we'll see when he gets to 5-star. Maybe they'll surprise us. I doubt it. Let's talk Norway. We got to finish the Norway campaign last month. 26 through 30 came out. How did everyone feel? Any surprises? Was it where you thought it was going to be in terms of difficulty? Feel free to throw some opinions at me.
It
Well,
was...
ladies first.
No, go ahead.
No, I
No,
mean,
you
because
don't have to be first all the
we
time. Go ahead.
we got the campaign nerfed, which was like awful. So I was actually expecting to steamroll more than I did. Like I still did steamroll a bit. Like I think that I did 28 without an enforcer, if I remember. No, sorry, 32. No, which one? Oh, we got 25 to 26 to 30, right?
Yeah.
26 to
Okay, so
30.
it was 28. Okay, right.
That's the hard mission with most fights, right? The third one.
Yeah, the one with jumps and fights, and yeah, I think 28 and 30 were the hardest ones. I mean, still kind of steamrolled, but it was fairly hard. Like, if I didn't plan and play all the missions before leaving my best heroes available, I think I would have struggled a bit. So it's still not about the mission itself, but about like the heroes you have available. I started to desync the other two campaigns, even though I'm already like it's already painful to think of playing them all again from one. But I just want to see how actually things are, because when I can play with all the heroes from start and see if I get to 26 to 30 and struggle, kind of the same. It was not bad anyway.
Okay, Khaleesi, floor is yours.
I did that. I desynced the Norway campaign fully. So I replayed from the first one on to the 30th one. And actually did play the Italian campaign and the Caribbean simultaneously. So I got all the newbies already ready for the Norway campaign. So okay, the difficulty difference was there. it was quite very visible, especially remembering when I tried the campaigns for the first time and like I used the fodder heroes, like rank 1, level 1, and they would just get steamrollered in the missions. But this time, that was actually going pretty well. I still stopped planning somewhere halfway along the way because I just couldn't. It was just too much for me. So I threw the planning out of the window. I played the 29th with Najma. That was horrible. But yeah, it wasn't as it wasn't that easy. I mean, the last 5 missions are tough. That the difficulty is there. So but yeah, with just a tiny bit of planning, it's very doable. It's more about the amount of heroes that you have. It's very much about the quantity. So that's all. You just need a big roster, and that's it.
How about you, Charlie? Any different or similar?
Well, I don't know. The nerf kind of got in my head a little bit. I don't know whether like 26 to 30 has been nerfed. You know what I mean? I didn't know like whether if they hadn't nerfed the new campaign, like how they've done it now, whether the 26 to 30 would have been harder than it currently is. I don't know whether that was the case or not. I don't know. So that was kind of in my head, was like, was this meant to be harder if they dumbed it down a little bit? So I went in with kind of like a full sense of security. I did quite well in it. I streamed it. I didn't die through any of the missions. Like my chat was not happy about that, but I did it. Like my Origins team absolutely blitzed 28. Absolutely phenomenal. It was good fun. But
Which team was it? Like
Polydorus,
Bayek?
Aya, and Bayak
What
just
did I
absolutely
use?
steamrolled it. The video's up on the channel. It was just phenomenal. Bayak just, I mean, I got lucky. He assassinated the odd person here and there. I got some good crits in and things like that. Obviously, Apollodorus with that. It was just a bit of strategy, but I mean, I did it and it was good fun. It was nice to have it quite challenging again. And the thing that I was quite proud of was I did 1 to 25 on the old difficulty. So I actually saved my best heroes by doing it the hard way, and I was quite pleased with that. I've done the same in the Caribbean campaign as well. So, you know, there was that little bit more satisfaction with me because they were hard, but I hadn't desunk everybody to get to that point. I'd kind of gone through the old hard difficulty, got to that point, and then carried on. But I enjoyed it. It was nice. It was nice to see some rare materials in the rewards. I thought that was a nice touch. I said on, I think it was on stream the other day, that I would have liked probably a drop of every rare material. I think like every 5th mission, I think would have been quite nice. So anybody who's new to the game, if they can complete 1 to 5 in campaign, they get a rare material. And it'd be just quite nice knowing that if they do get their 5-star weapon eventually, like they've got something there that they can craft, and as they progress, I just think it would have been a nice little way of kind of just giving the newer players, because this is what the game seems to be driving towards, new players. So I think it would have just been nice to just give them a little bit of just a legendary, like the drop, getting a legendary item. I remember the first time I got mine, and I went out and crafted Georgios's axe. I was well happy. Like I was absolutely over the moon. Like he was my first level 50, and he was my boy. I loved him. Crafted his axe, and I was just steamrolling through like region 4. I was well happy. Like, so I would have liked to have seen that. But all in all, the difficulty was decent. It wasn't a walk in the park. It wasn't boring. I still got lucky because I got a bit cocky, but I did get lucky. But yeah, I mean, a few people I know did fail certain missions. So, and they have quite a lot of elite trainings. There was still that process of knowing who to bring and making sure you still had your strongest heroes. So, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, I think we had level 100 enemies, didn't we, in those last couple of missions?
They hit
I
very
remember-
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, some of them had like bigger health bars than Torque, right? There was, I
Yeah.
can't remember how high they went, but I swear there was like 28k worth of health on
I remember seeing a 22, that was a beefy old boy. And the difference between them, sometimes you'd go into a fight and someone's got 12k health. I killed him, and then the bloke behind's got 22k health. I was like, where did he come from? Like, and it was, you know, that was the fun bit. This game can be fun when you know, there is a challenge presented in front of you, which is just a shame it's not done often enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the nerf was interesting. They obviously saw that a lot of players weren't getting very far into the campaign. But like you say, it's just about the number of heroes you have at 5-star. Like I run 3 accounts, and my middle account had a bit of a struggle because, you know, I only had a handful of legendary 5-stars. But even playing that one, I found like I steamrolled until like mission 18 to 20, and I hadn't used any of my 5-star epics or legendaries, and I
Yeah.
went straight to the point of, oh, I can't actually beat the other missions, even using those legendaries which I'd saved. So it felt like a really weird point that they'd put the difficulty at, but I don't know. If it
Yeah,
helps
and
new players, that's great, I suppose.
but even then, like the rare mats thing, like that Charlie was saying, it's free stuff. So thank you. I'm grateful. Amazing. But realistically, if you reach 26, you don't need any of them. Like I understand it's a reward, but
I
there's
thought
a
it was
limit.
18 to 20 maybe.
Yeah, there's a limit that where like even the reward, as nice as it can be, it's just useless. So you avoid the point. You want to reward me, and you give it something you know I don't want, and not only I don't want, but I don't need. So just like, why are you giving this to me now? Just give it before, like maybe around 20 or from like 15 to 25 maybe. I guess they're like, with the difficulty we have now, probably people with that are doing region 4 would be around 20, I guess. So give them a jump, let them play. Like, you're definitely not making new players rush to 26 to 30 to get those mats. So nope.
Yeah, it would actually be very useful to kind of restart now to see where actually do you get through with the campaigns.
Not doing that.
I'm not asking you to
Nope.
do it, but I was
Not
thinking
again.
about it because so much has actually changed since when we started. So it would be an interesting thing to see how we play through the campaigns, and do these heroes actually help us in any way, the ones that we get through the campaigns in progression of a new brotherhood. So I think I might have another
Maybe get
poke.
bored one day.
I need to try. And I was actually just looking at my teams for the Norway campaign. This is just
That's why you were
terrible.
laughing. I feel like, stop watching like cat memes and
No,
focus,
I was
please.
not watching cat. I used
Jesus
I
Christ.
I used Machiavelli, Darius, and Jean in 28. And there
Okay.
is Aya. Is that Altair and
I can
Domingo?
see.
Yeah, I did not plan my runs at all.
Well, there's nothing past 30, so I guess at that point you just throw everything you have and just don't bother.
Yeah, it's just the numbers, just how many heroes you
I
have in the
I used
reservoir.
Alexius, Mario, and Leonardo da Vinci for 30.
Oh,
Da Vinci is
Leonardo.
amazing. He's
Yeah.
like just nonsense. He's
Even
like,
Yeah,
that's a
this
3-star
brings me on
as
to
well.
something actually, because obviously the byproduct of finishing Norway is we all got 5-star Basim,
yeah,
Yeah.
which is
and great,
crazy. It's
great they
crazy.
are. And I have a feeling like all 3 of these campaign legendaries are going to be really good in ACR.
Yeah, actually, Leonidas.
Well,
too.
Leonardo, you know already, he's already good at 3 stars. So like,
That's true. You don't even
Yeah.
need to rank him.
yeah, I'm not sure Leonidas. I don't
I think
know.
he'll be good. I think he's going to be like
might be
Alexios
good.
style.
I think he's going to be better than Alexius, as much as it pains me to say it. I think he's just got that little bit more utility to him. I think he's going to be an absolute monster. Absolute
Yeah.
monster.
They're gonna
Yeah.
be good.
I'm really hopeful for him, even though I know nobody likes him.
I mean, Da Vinci's abilities at 3-star was just, I couldn't believe it. Like,
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Just
a good thing about a
phenomenal.
healer. You don't actually have to rank them up or.
but yeah,
level them up.
just think, going back, Khaleesi, for 26, I took in Quasim, Evo, and I don't know who she is.
So
I want to
Tosca.
see mine now.
So I took in.
26.
So yeah, for
was
26,
a pain in the butt.
Quasim absolutely dominated that for me. And then 27, I took in Jean, Machiavelli, and is it Gazer?
Gaze.
Giza? What's her name?
Grazia.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Grazia, the female,
Grazie.
Female Jorge.
Grazie.
yeah. And then 28 was Aya Bayak Apollodorus. 29 was Domingo Altair and Kemway. And then 30 was Alexius Mario and Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, there was still space for filler, I think, because like 28, I went with
I didn't use Lupo.
Alexei, Maria, and Kazim, which was like probably a bit of a kill. But then like 29, it was like Sahid, Domingo, and Ezio. And then 27 was Bartolomeo, Darius, and Lupo. 26 was Cleopatra, Altair, and what's the name of the guy from Odyssey, the massage one?
Oh, Alcibiades.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Who did you have left? There is one here.
I don't know.
that
I
I
have to
had
think.
Lupo. I had Lupo left. I didn't use
I
Lupo.
had Maria. I was saving her for I don't know what. In the end, I didn't use her.
That's the thing. If you were
Maybe.
just using your weakest hero, you still have strong heroes on the shelf at the very end. And some people were saying like if they wanted to push another 5 missions in, it wouldn't take them long to prepare. But
Yeah.
it certainly looks like the campaigns finish at 30.
I was struggling with the mission 26 actually and was persistent because I had to shove Cassandra somewhere in. And it was
That's
her
tough.
turn.
That
Yeah.
5% healing.
She was in mission 26 with poor Gaspar saved the day. Gaspar and Yaria. Is it or Jaria? Yaria.
Jaria.
Jaria, yeah. The two of
I
them and
know.
Gaspar. It was a struggle. That one was tough. Yeah.
It was good. It was a good level of difficulty, I thought. I think endgamers probably didn't worry, but I think anybody less than that probably had a fun time. My second account certainly.
But it was funny. Like as a gamer, it was good fun. Like I didn't struggle as I wanted to, but it was still fun. And honestly, it felt rewarding because Bazim is like, okay, I reached 30, so I complete the campaign, and I get one of the best heroes in the game. Okay, that's perfect. That's actually how things should work. Maybe in a bit less time, because I don't know how long it took for them to release the 5 missions, but it was too fucking long time. It's like, oh my god, I didn't like. You could desync and resync with for free, like twice, probably
Like
2-3
March
times.
to October or something like that.
A
Yeah.
very long time.
A bit too much, but still, no, handing was fun and rewarding. So good job.
Yeah, very good. So, speaking of how good Basim is,
Ali's playing Pokemon in the meantime.
Oh me, no, I'm just looking. I was just looking through some of like Leonardo's abilities and Leonardo da Vinci's abilities. Are just ridiculous for free stuff.
Mental, yeah.
Absolute, yeah.
It's okay.
yeah, I think he's going to be.
enough.
I think he's going to be really good. So, yes, what makes a good hero? We've always talked about tier lists in the past. This is always a topic that comes up on forums. What makes one hero better than another? What makes them whatever tier?
The others will go
So-
first. I'm not. Just save me to the end because
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just
just-
going to
yeah.
be a rant.
Let's get inside people's head as to what makes a good hero, what criteria they have to fill. Sir Alex, you've been nominated to tell us what makes a good hero in your eyes.
All right. Well, I guess that it really depends on the game. So, what I would think that in a deal game, things should be like there's something that piece of content that requires heroes to be completed, and then you have very selected few heroes who can do that, or they will do so much better than the others, right? But the thing with the tier list of like putting heroes in ranks and stuff like that is that in my mind it should be like an evolving thing. And evolving means that not only you put the new ones in somewhere, but also that the new stuff coming with the game shuffles everything. Like you got, say, Aguilar, which on March is rank S. Okay, then new content comes out and Aguilar's kit is outdated, so he's not as good as he was before. And then that puts him to, say, I don't know, B, whatever. Like the game should evolve to have a property at least making sense to me. ACR is not that way. So we sit on story 28 for how long? 2 years now? Like now we have campaign 28, Norway 28, and 30, which are new, not as accessible, but kind of new stuff. But still, the content is always the same, so it's hard to make a property at least for the game. I do think though that I prefer. Well, it can be other people who can steamroll the content, so like raw damage, raw power, like female Abel, for example, or Jacob. Then it comes to me to utility. Like Domingo can combine both being quite strong on the offense, but also like enhancing the whole party with the buff, which is great. Or even Gaspar, which doesn't fight at all. Still, it's ranked much higher in my book because it just brings so much utility. Like he can basically let the whole team leave twice within the same fight. So it's just not. I don't think like the problem with the tier list is that we don't have majors to make a proper one. Like we have story 28 and you do, okay, solo story 28. So either you can or you can't. But that's not enough because you can't have all the heroes soloing the last mission in the game to decide whether they're good or not. And you can't just put in like raw numbers. Oh, you took that health, you took this room, that room, blah, blah, blah. Just, you can't. So I really don't know how to make a proper tier list. I guess it's most about like utility or raw damage to me.
Okay. Khaleesi, do you have anything you want to add on top of that?
Yeah, I think that for this particular game, for ACR, because of all the things that Sir Alex listed, we do kind of need a proper testing ground. I would really love a mission that kind of implements everything inside, kind of like I keep talking about the GM5
Ibis.
In Ibis, yeah, because that mission kind of has a bit of everything. It has traps, it has some stealth, it has assassination, it has frontal fights. So it's kind of a mission that's very useful for testing stuff out. Still, you kind of need a team. It's not the same. An enforcer and a healer can't be tested in a same mission in the same way with the same parameters. So I guess that in this game, it for me, the important thing is the accessibility of the hero. So if I can't use this hero throughout my whole game progression and playthrough, he's not useful. His kit can be fantastic, but I'm not going to use him for maybe sometimes when there is an event and he's going to, I don't know, be in 1 or 2 missions and that's it. But he's not going to be useful. So for me,
Yeah, I think
that's
availability is
something
key
that's
because
important.
you've got very similar heroes. If you take like Hamid, who you get handed like right off the bat,
Yeah.
and then you can farm him, you know, day one essentially. You can go to region 1 and start farming him, and like in 4 weeks he's 5-star. And then you've got like Elena has a very similar toolkit. You know, lockpick, disarm, a combat ability. And essentially, if you took the two heroes and put them side by side, you'd say they're just as good as each other. But for Elena, you have to be able to get to like campaign mission, I don't know what it is, 16, 18, whatever.
Exactly.
Like max her out. So she's like, by the time you get her, she's not of value to you. Therefore, you would rank Hamid higher because he's much more available.
I think that because of the way that we've tested the game from the start and went over everything again. Like take Andrea, for example, who is a common hero, but you end up using her all the way to Region 5. So she is extremely useful. She can be used in a few missions in Region 5. So that's actually very important for someone who's playing the game for progression. So it's that. Of course, you kind of have to look at the usefulness of their skills, of their kit completely. It cannot be ranked just because they can or cannot finish mission 28 solo. That cannot be the only reason why a hero should have an S tier or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, they essentially have to be great to you at one stage of the game. Like somebody can be really great in the early game. It's some mid-game heroes who are really
Yeah.
good, or they have to
I
be really
think
good in the end game.
that would be a very good way to kind of make the tier list split in those three parts, like the beginning of the game, the middle of the game, and the end game, because that's how we do things anyway. That's how we discuss things. Who's the most
Yeah.
useful for you? And like Gaspar, who can be used from the beginning all the way to the very end of the game. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
you got somebody like Beatrice, or like Andrea, like you said, well, Beatrice was mine when I got the game. I just leaned on her so heavily for like 6 to 8 months. She just carried my team the whole time.
Same.
And I probably haven't used her in the last 2 years because, if she's a sync hero in an event, unless she's the only enforcer and I have to take her in for the sync bonus, I'm not going to use her.
Yeah.
But I still think she's great because she will carry your Brotherhood for a long time.
Same with Kasim too.
Yeah, but sorry, before Charlie weighs in, it's just that, like, when do you actually need, if you think about the one time when a tier list is brought up, the most common is when, like, okay, say Rob today stops playing, then come back in 6 months and write on Reddit, hey guys, coming back, is there a tier list? Because I want to know, like, I got these euros, but they were like useful 6 months ago. I don't know how things have changed or what the, power creep now. And that's the most common time when someone needs a tier list to get back to the game and adjust and know who to farm next, blah, blah, blah. We don't have this because we are suggesting people to use Gaspar, Beatrix, Louisa, and I don't know, the hell, from day one to now. There's nothing has moved. Like, you haven't touched Beatrix, not because you had so much more content, and you find out that she was just unable to deal with it, so you need someone better. No, it's just because you finished the game and you reached story 28 with Beatrix at that time, and then the game hasn't moved from there. So it's not like, I know people I like tier lists a lot. Like in a few games where like I played that had a lot of heroes, a lot of units. I like to watch them because I want to see what other people think about the units, how it's different from what I think. But I just don't see Rebellion being fit for it because just Rebellion doesn't move. So you don't need a tier list. Like, you can complete the game with 4 heroes and all the rest, like even campaign. It's not about needing strong heroes. It's about needing many heroes that eventually will be different and will help you out. So I don't know. I think a tier list doesn't fit Rebellion too much because the game simply doesn't move.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, Charlie.
Yeah.
Unleash your ass.
Yeah, I mean, like I agree with Alex 100% about the evolve. Like for a tier list, the game needs to evolve, and I mean, I did my like top 10 heroes in the game. Like I've done a couple of them videos, and even I've evolved them because you play with more heroes. Like obviously, as certain things happen, you play with different heroes. You use different heroes for Rodrigo wasn't in my one to start off with. I put him in the worst 10 heroes in the game because for me he was just shocking. But then they brought him out a new weapon. They've you put a bit of elite training into him, and then all of a sudden he becomes this new monster that nobody really knew. You know what I mean? So like I have evolved like my top 10 lists I've done previously. I haven't done a tier list since there was 68 heroes in the game. I think we're at 100 now. So
96.
But
Yeah.
96.
for me, the solo in Story 28 is just the worst thing. I hate it when people say that. Right, for a start, you're meant to bring 3 heroes to a mission. It's a team game. It's not a solo game. Otherwise, they'd just give you 1 hero to use. There's 3 heroes to use. So it's, for me, like I said, probably one of the best teams in the game for me was the Origins team because of how well it synergizes. You've got a bit of everything in there. And like for me, Apollodorus, for me, like if I was ranking him, for me, he's an A-class hero because the health buff he gives to people is phenomenal, especially when they can heal back. So people like Bayek, when he gives Bayek an extra like 600 to 700 health, that's a lot of health for a hero that is already very good, that can claw that back as well. He can, and then he increases his crit damage for an assassination ability for heroes in a room. So you're getting a little bit low on health with Bayek. You throw that ability on, you're critting left, right, and centre. All of a sudden you're back to full health. Now that makes, for me, Apollodorus a very good and useful hero. He can handle himself in a fight as well. For me, what makes an S-class hero is a hero that can do what they can do very well and a little bit more. So for me, Evie, from what separates her to the rest of the Shadow class, for example, is she packs a punch. She throwing knives, initiatives. You're barely taking damage. She can take out multiple enemies at a time and put a damage over effect time on them. She can sneak unbelievably well. She can get around the map unbelievably well. She can lockpick unbelievably well. So for me, she's an S-class hero. But then people go, well, she can't be an S-class hero because she's nowhere near as good as female Avel. So how can you say she's an S and that she's an S? And I'm like, but it's like, yeah, it just winds me up. Like for me, it's what they can do and what they bring to it. For me, Gaspar, is he going to be made redundant by Leonardo da Vinci? Probably. But are they still both S-class heroes? Of course they are, because you get Gaspar so early on, and Gaspar will carry you through your brotherhood for God knows how long, which you won't be able to do
until the end of the game.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
All the
like,
way to the end.
For me, like everybody, the majority of people, not me because I was a bit later to the game and I took things a little bit slower, but the majority of people's team that completed Story 28 was Gaspar, Yusuf, and Lucas. I reckon 80% of the players probably completed Story 28 with that team because you put enough elite training to get Lucas through the last room, and then you can go and execute Tornado. As long as you can take 1 hit from him, you can execute him. You've won the video game. And as I said, like, and again, as Alex said, like the game doesn't move on. So, like, I'm at the point where, like, well, what do you really need all these S-class heroes for? Because there's nothing to use them in. Like, you're testing them on a 2-year piece of content. Like, is this what they're going to solo? Like, who cares? Like, I've done it. I don't need another hero that can solo Story 28 because I've done it. You know what I mean? I just don't need it. And but yeah, for me, when I rank a hero, I like people have been going gaga for Bazim. And I think Bazim is a very good hero. I had an argument. I don't think he's an S-class hero. I think that he's very RNG dependent. When he's built up, he's phenomenal. But getting him built up is extremely risky. And you need a lot of RNG to go your way on them before applying them first 2 hits of his ability. You obviously max out at 3. But then you can max that out, take him through Story 28, does all the zip wiring, all the jumps for you. They're fallen off by the time you've got there. So now you've got to refresh that again. So that's my problem with Bazim is when he's ramped up, phenomenal. But when he's not, I think he's average. If I was going into a bit of content, I would probably, I don't know, Altair for me, again, with executability, throwing knives ability, like his weapon has made him very, very good assassin. Very good. Same with Aldawali. These all serve different purposes.
Is he still bugged?
Who's that, Aldawali?
Yeah.
Well, I stun locked Tornado for days. I think as long as you don't use a certain ability, I've still got the video.
It still is. All right. Okay.
Literally,
Just checking.
Tornado didn't hit me. It's very hit and miss. Sometimes you think they've snapped out the stun because the animation stops, but then you hit them again and then they're stunned again.
All right.
Like used people go, well, Edward's S-class, he's legendary. But for me, I prefer Yusuf. Edward's assassination ability is poo. Like, I don't like swearing like that. Like, well, it's dog shit. It's dog shit. I took him into campaign mission 29, and I couldn't execute. I couldn't assassinate anyone with him. He had an 18% assassination chance. It's pathetic. Like, it was terrible. Like, as Altair was like 60 odd or 70 odd.
Yeah, very
So
high.
yeah, so I used him for it. All Edward did was my checks, which was very good. But could I not have done that with Yusuf? Yeah, I probably could. And Yusuf is easily accessible. Throwing knives, guarantee initiative. So for me, it's just I think a hero needs to be useful for the team, have great utility, and do what they do, and more. So as I said, like for me, Lupo, phenomenal hero. For me, Evie outclasses him just a little bit more because she can take less damage and deal out a little bit more damage. So for me, who do you want to take in? Lupo, Evie? I'll take in Evie. All right, she might not be able to disarm my traps, but
Lupo.
I love Lupo.
I don't.
If he's in a Helix Drift event,
You
guarantees
don't
a lot
deserve
of
him.
shares.
Like,
Why?
it's not him, it's
I
you.
don't want him. He's poo.
I love him. I love Lupo. I think he's the boy. Like, sneaking past people, disarming, lockpicking, does all of that perfectly.
He can fight. He can fight pretty well too.
Yeah.
Who,
So,
Lupo?
yeah.
My Lupo
Yeah.
cannot fight. He misses so much. It's just,
He senses your
horrible
negativity and strikes back. And
He's got
I'm
one
on his
though.
side. So
Yeah.
just
So for me, Lupo is a great hero. Like, if he's in a Helix Rift event, I'm happy because I know
Yeah.
that I've got
Yeah.
no issue getting my chests done. My chests are done for the whole mission. Even if there's an enemy in front of them, I can take them out. Like, not a problem. And it's just things like that. So for me, yeah, it's not about clearing a certain piece of content. It's about how useful they are to your brotherhood, what they bring to your team. And as I try and stress, this is a team game. Like, it is designed to bring in free members. There are the freaks. Like, for me, Jean is still, or Jean, as it's probably pronounced because it's French or whatever, but is the best hero. For me, the best hero in the game still because of the healing ability. He's just a freak of nature. Like, you can fail agility checks because you'll just heal it all back. As someone like Female Eivor, for me, hardest hitter in the game, like absolute monster truck. But you start failing jumps and you start taking poison damage and you start losing initiative, eventually she's going to die. As Jean just goes all day. You know what I mean? He's just built differently. So yeah, for me, but then someone's saying, well, if Jean's an S, then Female Eivor can't be an S, and that winds me up. And that's just the thing I have to deal with. So yeah, I just think it's about how they perform in their role and what utility they bring to the team and things like that. So yeah.
How do you guys feel about elite training when figuring out, where you place a hero? Because there are some heroes, I think, they're probably an A with no ET, but if you put like 3 or 4 ET into the key stats, they move up.
Well, Bayek is the best example for that.
Yeah,
is terrible.
Bayek is a good example. Yeah.
Bayek is terrible. Without a legendary weapon and elite training, he's shocking.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say terrible, but he's quite different.
Yeah.
He's very different without the weapon, but yeah, the ET, I think, takes him up a bit.
Yeah, and it's the same with Jean as well. Like, this is like, some people are going, well, I put the same amount of dodges in Jean as I did Female Eivor. Well, that's not a comparison because Jean benefits far more from a dodge than Female Eivor does. It's like, doesn't matter. Like, it makes no difference. That doesn't distinguish the heroes. Like, all you're doing is making Jean more powerful and just giving Female Eivor the chance to dodge something occasionally. Yeah, you don't take no damage, but you're not gaining what you get from if Jean dodges. And this is the thing. Elite training is massive in this game, and as you rightly said, it can take
into consideration.
Yeah, it
you
can
have
take
to take it into consideration.
Like Rodrigo. Would he be S class without elite training? No, probably not, because he's not got T5 armor. Like if you didn't train his health, his defense, he'd be getting absolutely slapped left, right, and center. But because you can elite train this hero, it then does bang him up. So just pops him in that bracket. And yeah, so I do think the elite training in this game is a massive contribution to how a hero performs before and after.
I remember when Elite Training was released, where Region 5 dropped. And the first thing I did, because I was using Jean, I guess. Jean,
Jean.
whatever.
I say G because it's
Yeah, Gene,
say
right.
Jane.
I was using him so much that the first thing I did, right, okay, what's his weakness? Jumps. Easy. So what I did is I put like I don't remember if like 1, 2, for like a bunch of elite training in his agility. And then I brought him to mission and it was still 5%. So I went to Bumble, which was the community manager back then, and say, hey, Bumble, sorry, excuse me, your elite training is bullshit. Doesn't work. Fix it. Like it's all blah, blah, blah. And then we're like, okay, wait, how? Oh, what did you do? And I'm like, well, I put agility on Gene and he's not jumping, so clearly DT is wrong. And yeah, no, it turns out the agility was so low that it really didn't matter how much I put in there. I just couldn't do anything. So there's definitely some heroes who can shine with certain stats boosted up. Yeah, for sure.
I think Rodrigo was probably the first one I put ET in. I think I probably did put in agility because I think there was like a 4 democracy at the time, and I needed him to make a couple more jumps. But I guess it's the same thing with gear because some heroes just don't have the gear they need to be.
Yeah, I mean
as good as they
Malik.
could be.
I mean, we can theorise. I think Malik is going to be a banging hero when he's epic, but I think he's going to be a banging hero when he gets a T5 weapon. But until he gets that, we just surmise him. You know what I mean? But yeah, going back to the elite training, because I didn't get to level 50s as quick as yous, and I remember like I used to use my elite training just to like help me with like chest bashes on echoes through the animus and things like that. Like I'd give Cassandra a little bit more attack, so I had a 85% chance to break through a door or something like that, rather than being I used to try and manipulate it. Like I purposely take damage with Yusuf so we get the Fury ability, so then my attack would go up and then I could bash the chest open and things like that. So I used to use my elite training when they weren't really 5 stars because I wanted them to just help me pass them checks in Helix Rift events at the time, and now I barely elite train anyone really. I'm lazy. I don't need to. I think I've got the heroes I need to really.
That's the thing. Like once you've done like 2 or 3 in the key stats for heroes, and they can do what they need to in GM5. Like there's not a lot of point past that.
No, I think I've done Bazim just because. Sorry, go on.
Some heroes just simply get their full potential unlocked with elite training. To others, you can put as much elite training as you want; they still won't get to that point. But yeah, it's a huge help. So go on.
I'm still saving for Matteo though. Like
Yeah.
I'm still saving all my coins to max out Matteo eventually. Yeah. So
How much did you already put in him?
I don't know. More than 1 point is nonsense already, so there's no need to keep track. But I can tell you, I think quite a bit. Anyway, I'm waiting for maybe one day we'll get the elite training discount on like I don't know a Sunday or something.
Elite training day.
Yeah.
5% lower coin cost.
We have four bonus hours, right? So yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
does it cost something like 106, something like 160 odd million coins? I think it is to fully.
Yeah, no, to me, yeah, it requires several lifetimes.
Yeah.
It's not unreasonable, but I think I still put like 5 health, no, 2, 4, no, 6 health, 6 attack, 4 dodge, 4 and 4 crit chance and bonus, 4 lethality, and 4 agility.
That's actually quite.
Yeah. No regrets. I can rush. The thing is, all of this is because I can rush. I think it's the second to last or the third to last loot mission in Region 5 on my dailies. And the first hero is Matteo. He's the only common one with enough power score to do that. So, game over. I won.
I think Maria has the most elite training for me.
Oh, I think Alexius is me. I think I did that for trying to clear Region 5 back in the day. got quite a lot into him. In Bayak and I think it's him and Bayak. I think there's a fair bit in Altair as well. But yeah, as I said, that's when I used to kind of do it just because it helped me through missions. Now, just don't really see the point, really.
Well, yeah, once you've done a handful in the key stats, I think you're good. Cool. Is there anything anybody wanted to add about what makes a hero good? I think we covered everything.
No, I think that's all right.
The game it comes from, if it's like Valhalla or Odyssey, it sucks like from the start. So that's also a good point. Like it's like from a C to D tier already. Yeah, can't go higher.
Very good. Cool. That's everything we wanted to discuss today. So thank you guys for your time as always. Thank you to everybody who takes the time to watch. Give a like,
Nobody.
give a subscription, hit the bell, do all the good things.
Charlie, chop chop, that's your stuff. It's your channel.
I know, but it's just Rob's show.
Wake up.
So
There you go. I've done it for
Rob
you.
is the
I
best,
appreciate it.
the best
Button has to
host
be
ever.
here. All of the buttons.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah. Thank you for everybody who's come this far into the podcast. We appreciate it.
Until next time, take care, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Take care.
Bye.